All right, so I'm going to talk about the James Harden trade. Basically, give my thoughts on it. I'm gonna make a video about the Celtics, but so the Harden trade just went down. Huge news in the NBA. It speculated after everything happened with Harden and the practice and then training camp or whatever. You kind of knew he's gonna be gone, and then sure enough, dude, he like says this shit's a fluke. I gotta go. So they traded him the day after he did that. It was speculated the Sixers or the Nets, and I was actually surprised to hear that he was going to the Nets. For some reason, I don't know. I just thought that Ben Simmons would be the most appealing to the Rockets, so I thought, whatever it takes to get him and as much as they can, that's what they're gonna do. And it ended up not being that simple. It could have had something to do with Daryl Morey. Who knows? Probably, honestly. But yeah, he went to the Nets for basically it's all messed up. There was a huge trade. You guys have seen it. I'm not gonna go over it, but yeah, the Nets they got James Harden. Gave up their whole future. Um, was it worth it in my opinion? Yeah. That's James Harden. So whatever you're gonna do, you have right now two of the top players in the league. If you can maximize your chances at winning by adding another top player in the league, you do it, dude. Um, and all the people, I really am gonna make this video to address the people that don't think it's gonna work. I see so many people saying that Kyrie's attitude, which is funky, is gonna clash with James, which is also at times funky recently. Or KD, who's been funky in the past. These are three three different cup of teas. But in all actuality, I think it's gonna work 100% fine because of the reason that they all have each already participated in having to be with another star and share the basketball. You look at Kevin Durant, he was obviously drafted close to what Russell Westbrook, and he matured as an NBA player next to what Russell Westbrook, who also matured obviously into a star. And also they had Harden on that roster, who wasn't the player he is today, but Harden was still really good on the Thunder. And then you have KD goes to the Warriors. Who is he playing with? He's playing with Steph Curry, Draymond Green, Klay Thompson. You don't think KD knew how to share the ball there? And now we see KD teamed up with Kyrie. Obviously, he knows what he's getting himself into. You look at Harden. Harden was on OKC. Harden went to Houston. Harden had Chris Paul. Harden had Russell Westbrook. You look at Kyrie Irving. He played with LeBron James, dude. And then he went to the Celtics, and he was able to share the rock. I mean, obviously they didn't accomplish shit, but Kyrie still knows how to give the rock up a little bit. So all three of these guys have already proven to us. Two of them have won championships with another star. The other guy was literally in a game 7 against the greatest team of all time with Kevin Durant and almost beat them if it wasn't for missing like 30 straight threes. It's like these are three very elite talents. This isn't just like, you know, chip off the old block. Like, this is not how this works. The NBA is a supremely talent driven league. This isn't like the NFL where, you look how Odell's kind of had a shitty couple years on the Browns, like next to Jarvis Landry and Baker and all them. Or I'm trying to think of like another example. It's not like the NFL where your progress and your team's style is driven mainly by coaching, mainly by decision making of your quarterback, mainly by um just following the game plan and really taking advantage of your opponent's strength. It's much more X's and O's, obviously. In basketball, dude, if you have the best player, there's probably a pretty good chance you're gonna win. And if you have two really good players, there's probably a really good chance you're going to win. Look at the Lakers. LeBron AD, they won. Um, You look at all the best teams in the league. They have, Kawhi, Paul George. Now Devin Booker and Chris Paul in Phoenix, and they started good. Kyrie and KD before Harden. There's many examples of really talented teams with just two really good players, and they are very successful. Now, when you have three really good players, you're going to be successful. Outside of the season in 2011, when LeBron just did what he did, LeBron was pretty successful in those next 2 years. I'm pretty sure they won over 20 games. They went on over a 20-game win streak in one of those years, and they won back-to-back finals. Like, that team was really successful. And you look at the Nets compared to what the Heat were. 2012 LeBron is better than any player on the Nets right now. But there's a serious argument that can be made. Obviously KD's the second best player. Let's be real. So it goes 2012 LeBron, KD. There's a serious argument that can be made that both Kyrie Irving and James Harden come next before Wade and Chris Bosh. That's just my opinion. But and then you also look at the Warriors. Obviously KD's in the same spot. I don't think Kyrie is better than Steph, but there is a case for it. People can make the case for it. And then also James Harden over Klay Thompson. Obviously Klay's probably a better, second, third, fourth fiddle because he's mostly a catch and shoot guy who can play defense. But James Harden is better than Klay Thompson. You have to acknowledge that. So now you have someone that is legitimately better than his opposition. You could even if you wanted to spice things up, kind of switch it around, you could compare James Harden and say he's better than Steph, and then you could probably say Kyrie's better than Klay. Take it however you want it. This is a very talented team. And to think that, and then people are saying Steve Nash is a rookie head coach, he's not going to have success. Steve Nash played point guard at the highest level possible for almost 20, he played like 20 years, dude. He won 2 MVPs as a 6'1" white dude in the NBA. The guy knows how the NBA works. He knows how offenses are ran. He knows about defense. He knows about all that stuff. He knows how to manage people. He was the point guard. He was the leader of his teams for 20 years, dude. I can't believe people are doubting Steve Nash. That is just... I think he's going to do fine. And then people are also doubting, they're not going to click, they're going to clash. When they start winning games and Kyrie kind of comes back to himself, or maybe himself is the messed up version, I don't know. But when Kyrie actually comes back and he's enjoying basketball, that is when you're going to see the full potential of this team. And honestly, I think it's going to be a championship. I think they should be the favorite. There's just, you can't tell me that if you take this team right now and you put them against the Lakers last year with AD in the finals instead of the Heat, they're going to beat the Heat, dude. I meant Lakers. They're going to beat the Lakers, dude. The Nets would have beat the Lakers, bro. AD would have ate up on DeAndre and whatever they have, like Nick Claxton or whatever, but, dude, are you kidding me? Jimmy Butler took them to 6 games. Dude. Or 5, whatever it was, dude. I honestly don't even remember, but this Nets team is way better than that Heat team. And they would have probably beaten the Lakers, because who's going to guard Kevin Durant? Who's going to guard Kyrie? And then also, who's going to guard James Harden? Is LeBron going to stick KD the whole series? Maybe, but what is that going to take away from him offensively? Is AD going to be on KD? Because I don't know if AD can guard KD. And then you look at who's going to guard Kyrie Irving? No one. Caruso? KCP? And then you look at James Harden. Don't even get me started. I'm not even going to go there. This team would have fucked up LA. I think they'll fuck them up this year. I think they'd fuck up the Clippers would be a tougher matchup. I'm not gonna lie. The Clippers would be a tougher matchup due to the perimeter defense. Like they got Pat Bev for Kyrie, they got Kawhi and Paul George for KD and Harden. That's the matchup we need to see, honestly, because that would be a good series. I wouldn't say they beat the shit out of them. I'd still favor the Nets, but I mean, and even my Celtics, dude, it's tough, man. I want to keep faith, and I still do have a ton of faith. I think we match up pretty well with them. I mean, better than anyone else in our conference, or even in the entire league, besides the Clippers, probably. We match up decent with the Nets. Um, it's tough though, dude, because you look at that team and you think they have James Harden, Kyrie Irving, and Kevin Durant. That is just so much greatness on offense, man. How are you gonna stop them? And yeah, Tatum's a great defender. Brown's a great defender. We have Smart. But I don't know, man. It's tough. And the Pacers even got better today. They got Karis LeVert out of it. The Pacers are a pretty good team. They are a really good team. The league just continues to get better and better. Even the Rockets, they got Vic Oladipo, and they got a good starting five. The league is in a really good place right now. But yeah, you guys need to stop doubting the Nets. Just stop. It's just hate at this point. Like, I hate Kyrie Irving. I'm a Celtics fan. I have every reason to hate him. I hated Kevin Durant when he went to Golden State, and honestly, I didn't really like Harden a couple years ago. But I guess it's ever since COVID I really started appreciating these guys, everyone in the sports world much more, because you're so fortunate to watch these guys, play the sport at such a high level. Um, I think they're the most talented team in the league, and I think it's gonna work. And it's championship or bust. If they don't win a championship, it's a bust.